So what I did was I would get product researchers to get a bunch of products to my requirements. I'll go in and I'll pick the ones I like. So now I no longer have to spend hours scrolling through AliExpress. So that's how I automated product research, or how I trimmed the fat. Hey guys, what's up? In this video we'll be talking about how to automate your whole dropshipping business. It's going to be a super important video, so I highly recommend people who are at that stage where they want to take a step back from their dropshipping business and really reap the rewards of being able to travel and have more free time when taking on e-commerce. You're going to want to watch this video. There's going to be so much value and things that you could actually take action upon and get implemented with your business today. Before we get right into the video, I want to announce last video's winners to win 30-minute consultings with me personally. The winner is here. If you guys want to qualify, all you have to do is drop a comment below, like the video, tag your Instagram, make sure you're following me so I can go ahead and DM you if you are the winner, and that's about it. And I'll be picking the winners at the beginning of every single video. Alright, so let's get right into the business. How to automate and outsource your drop shipping business. Rule number 1, you need to know and master each role before you outsource. This is super important because it's gonna be very inefficient if you train a VA to do something that you're not good at, and your flaws will basically be transitioned over to the VA. If you don't know how to attack certain situations, you don't know tricks and tips to make certain tasks faster, your VA is just gonna be slow. They're not gonna know how to attack these problems, and they're gonna be inefficient. By being a master at it yourself, you're able to learn all the tips and tricks, build out Excel sheets, track everything, and bring all those tips over to your VA so they'll be able to actually work faster, more efficient, they'll be able to be trained better, and you will actually save money. Because if you're giving them templates, you're giving them tips and tricks, you're showing them how to make things easier, they're going to be more happy and they're going to be able to do more work. That's why you're going to master each task before you pass it on to a VA. Rule number 2, you have to babysit and monitor every new VA you hire for the first few weeks. This is very time consuming, and that's the last thing you do. When you hire a VA, you go through the whole hiring process. The last thing you want to do is babysit a VA for the first few weeks, but it is highly necessary. The foundation is the key. Just like the foundation to a house, the foundation of the training that you give to your VA is highly important, and you definitely don't want to slack on it. If you're able to set up a good foundation, it's going to pay forward in the long term. You're going to be able to work with them for a long period of time. There's going to be less issues, and they're going to be able to take what you taught them and then train future VAs. So babysitting and monitoring VAs at the very beginning is super important. On top of that, there's going to be a lot of errors and flaws. That's another thing. When you hire new VAs, there's going to be a lot of things they're doing that are not to your satisfaction, and you want to constantly train them, constantly give them feedback, and constantly tweak them until they hit your standards. And it's going to take a few weeks until you can really trust them and turn around and let them handle that side of the business, checking in once or twice a week. But other than that, the first week you're gonna have to be full on hands in the business. Rule number 3, if a VA isn't doing a good job, they're not taking in feedback, they're slow to respond to messages, they're not learning from their mistakes, they're not energetic, they're not enthusiastic, you definitely want to fire and move on to the next one ASAP. No matter how much time you invested into the VA. Like, I used to feel obliged to stick with the VA because I invested so much time and effort to get her to this mediocre state, and I was like, I don't want to waste all that investing time. And then I think there was a reason why I just had to find a new VA, and the new VA with half the amount of training required was 2 times better than that initial first VA. And then every single time I hired a new VA, I just found out that there's just more and better VAs out there. It's just like finding a girlfriend. Like, you're gonna find that like your next girlfriend's gonna be better than the last, and then you thought she's the best one, then you find another girl that's more perfect for you, and you find another girl that's even better. So that's the same thing with VAs. There's just a never-ending list of VAs that will be perfect for what you do. So you never want to be emotionally stuck to one. And if one doesn't fit your needs and it's just a pain to work with, hire a new one. And then if that doesn't work, hire a new one. And don't feel invested because you put in all that time. Each time you hire a new VA, it's going to be much easier because you have SOPs set up, you have flows set up, and you've already trained many VAs. So you're actually bringing the knowledge you learned on towards to the next VA. So each time you pick up a new VA it's going to be much easier to train and much easier to hire and much easier to identify who's going to help you with what you need. So don't get emotionally attached and move on. Rule number 4, how to scale. This is a big question. Like, people say, do I have to do that with every single VA I hire? Like, how do I scale? It's going to take forever. Well, for each role you outsource, if you need a second person, let's say you just have too many orders, you just have too many emails, and you need a second person to help with customer service, all you have to do is get the first one that you train really well and is perfect to what you need to train the second one. It's as easy as that. Be like, yo, remember how I trained you? Now this new VA is going to come on board. That VA is going to be under your wing. Can you please look after this new VA and just like train them basically? And therefore, the time that you invested into the first VA plus all the time you invested hiring those initial VAs will now be multiplied. Like, I have one VA that helped me train 2 to 3 more different VAs, and I have just one managing one, and all the time I invested into the failed VAs plus the initial VA paid off big time. Plus the experience I gained is just priceless. So the first thing that you want to outsource is customer service. The requirements is you want to make sure you've answered hundreds of emails personally, and this will allow you to attack every issue and create reply templates for your VAs. So you want to master it before you want to pass it on. Notes. You want to keep your VAs accountable by checking random emails every week, because VAs definitely get lazy, definitely just copy and paste, and they definitely slack off and like ignore certain emails. So you want to keep them accountable by checking emails every week. You want to look for personalized emails if they're using customers' names, relevant responses, etc. You want to be reading through random responses. Say every day they answer 10 emails. By the end of the week, that's 70. You probably want to check 3 to 5 just to see if they're on track and on par to what you need. And this is after you sort of train them. This is like the post-training period where now you trust them, you let them do their thing, but you still want to keep an eye on it. Then you want to give your customer service VA feedback on how to improve. Like, now you've went through the emails, let them know, hey, screenshot, I just checked out this email, this is how I recommend you respond instead. So that lets them know that you're watching over them, so they're going to be more careful with the responses, and 2, they're able to take on your positive criticism and improve, and that's highly important. Next, order fulfillment requirements. You need to have fulfilled hundreds of orders personally, because this will allow you to know all the glitches, all the errors, all the strange different shipping countries, you know, what to do when there's out of stock. You know, when you're working with Oberlo and Dropify, there's just a lot of these errors, and you personally need to know the solution to each one. So when the VA asks you, you'll be able to instantly give them the solution. Because if not, you're gonna have to spend 3 extra time backtracking, finding out what went wrong, trying to solve it with them. It's going to be messy since they sort of completed the first 80% of the order, and now you have to backtrack, and it's just really annoying. So you want to go through and fulfill hundreds of orders personally before you outsource that. What you want to do is you want to keep your VAs accountable by, again, checking a few random orders every week. You want to look for correct orders, correct shipping choice, you know, if they pick ePack or if they pick AliExpress shipping. You want to check correct customer address. You want to see that they're picking the correct variant. Sometimes there's products where there's different country plugs. You want to make sure they're picking the correct plug for the correct country. The most important thing is you want to make sure there's no orders being lost or forgotten. You know, sometimes VAs, they get lazy if something's out of stock, if there's an error, or they just forget and it just gets lost in the vast amount of orders you have. You want to make sure that they're not forgetting them and keeping on top of that. Then you want to use what you saw and give the order fulfillment VA feedback on how to then improve. Every time you give your VAs improvement, they're leveling up. And it's in your incentive to have your VA the best that they could be. Next is the creative editor requirements. You need to have edited and created at least 50 plus creatives personally. This will allow you to know what ads work, the hooks that it requires, what edits and changes are possible, and what's not too much of an ask. Like, I've personally edited a ton of videos, so when I ask my editor to add things in, I know it's simple and I know it isn't too much of an ask, because I've personally done it many times. And if they don't go ahead and do it, I'm gonna go ahead and do it, and then I'm gonna find a new creative editor. So that's why you really wanna personally create at least 50 plus creatives. Notes. You want to find an editor that can also film products with cameras, because that'll be really important, because when you get to the point where you want to ship your products directly to your editor, they're going to need to know how to film it so you could create videos of it. 2, they should be able to source and scrape footage and images online. That's really important because they sort of need to be creative and versatile, meaning they'll be able to just find footage and images from everywhere over the internet and put together a nice video or nice photo. And lastly, you want to ask for samples of their previous works to see their skill, and having someone talented in this field is highly important. Also, having someone that's willing to learn and take on all your different critiques. Be like, hey, maybe we should add text here, maybe we should add an emoji here, maybe we should add some music here, maybe we should pop transition. Having someone that's willing to learn and like evolve and take on your revisions is highly important. Another thing, this isn't too necessary, but email marketer. The requirements is you only do this once the extra 5 to 10% is at a point where it's worth a lot. Let's say you're doing $1 million in revenue a year, which isn't too much. That's less than 100K a month. So that's definitely achievable. But an extra 5 to 10% at that level is an extra 50 to 100 grand in revenue, which is a lot. Plus there's zero ad spend in marketing. So it's an extra 50 to 100 grand ad spend free. Basically, your profit margin is going to be like 80% because all you have to pay for is cost of goods. When you get to this level, there's 2 options. One, you're going to hire an email marketing team/company that specializes in running email campaigns for e-commerce business. I know it says commerce, add in an E. There are lots of email marketing experts who have their own team, and all they do is just run email campaigns for e-commerce companies. And you can find a ton of them on Facebook groups, Upwork, YouTube, and that's just to name a few, through referrals as well. But you definitely can find them around, and it's definitely like a business on its own, like email marketing. You'll be surprised that there's like a group of people where all they do is just email marketing. 2, build and train your own email marketing team from the ground up. That's also definitely a possibility. Train them from the ground up. Emails are pretty easy to do. The difference from an email that you can make versus an email that a company can make, the ones that the company can make probably have like a 2 to 3% extra in conversion rates and revenue. But if you build your own team, it's going to be like 50% cheaper. But it's going to be much more time consuming, and building that foundation is just hard. So it's really up to your preference. Personally, I did number 2 and it paid off really well, and it's definitely achievable, but you just have to have a lot of training and hiring experience. If not, just go straight for number 1 because it's just easy and you don't have to think about it. Lastly, this is a big one, project manager. This is something that nobody talks about within the dropshipping space. Having a project manager is basically your right-hand man. So let's go over the requirements. You have to have your customer service, order fulfillment, creative editor, all trained and stable. A project manager is someone that is creative, hungry, and productive, and they're just willing to learn. And this will be someone on salary. There won't be a VA that's from Philippines. This is a legit employee that's going to help you day to day with your business. This is someone that is a solid all-rounder that can basically take on any task, and they're quick at learning new things. A project manager will basically allow you to take a step back from your businesses and allow you to go on holidays and take time off and have your dropshipping business still running. Basically, what you're looking to do is have a project manager look after all your customer service, order fulfillment, and creatives, and basically manage those 3 things rather than you having to plug and put out the fires. Like, each one of these things would have constant issues every day. There's certain emails that need your personal attention to. There's certain orders or glitches that need your help with. There's certain ads that are just not good enough and needs your input to improve it. That's where the project manager comes in and takes over that whole aspect. And then, you could also train them to help you with a bit of product research, Facebook ads, scaling, if they have time. But the main role is to just take over those 3 main roles. And at that point, it's easy because you've already automate things. All they have to do is just keep the team happy, help them with what they need, and it's super easy. And they should be basically able to maintain the whole store. Your role is to progress the store and make it grow. The project manager's role is to maintain the store. So this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna look after the Facebook ads and product research. That's the most essential and important part of your business, and that's what's gonna be driving revenue to your dropshipping store. You can definitely outsource parts of Facebook ads and product research, trim the fat basically and leave the most important things for you. So what I did was I would get product researchers to get a bunch of products to my requirements. I'll go in and I'll pick the ones I like. So now I no longer have to spend hours scrolling through AliExpress. So that's how I automated product research, or how I trimmed the fat. Facebook ads. I got VAs to go ahead, and after we got product picked, video created, I got a VA to actually upload it onto Facebook, run the initial ads, set up the initial campaigns, run the initial targeting. All I have to go in is just look if the testing phase is good to go. If it is, then I publish the ads. If not, I'll tweak it and I'll screenshot it and I'll send it to my VA and be like, this is the better targeting that I would have done instead, so they can learn and improve. So all I had to do was just go and check and publish. And that's sort of the point you want to get to. A lot of people say that you want to keep these two tasks all for yourself, but I do believe that you can trim the fat and get to a point where you're really spending only 10 to 20 minutes a day doing these two tasks, and basically spending 10 to 20 minutes a day maintaining your whole dropshipping business. And I've been there. Like, that is possible. You can only do this if you outsource parts of your business and build out systems. Now, where to hire? You want to go on Upwork and OnlineJobs.ph. Both have their pros and cons. Upwork is free. OnlinePH has an initial cost, but OnlineJobs.ph, I feel like it has higher quality and cheaper VAs, whereas Upwork has a large amount of VAs and a more diverse amount of VAs. Last tips. You want to master each role before you outsource it. 2, when hiring a new VA, you have to be very on top of things and train them super well. 3, if a VA is not suitable for your needs, you want to fire them ASAP, as there will be one out there that's perfect for you, and you don't want to be emotionally attached to one just because you've invested so much time into him or her. 4, even after things are stable, you still want to go in and do random checks on all these processes. Even checking on your project manager, making sure he's checking daily. Like, you want to create a log and you want to check into the log. You want to go behind his back, talk to the VAs, ask if the project manager has been checking up on them, and do random checks. Lastly, 5, looking after your project that's his product, but replace it with, because I put it together super fast because I just want to pump out the value onto the channel as soon as possible. So there's a lot of like typo errors, so just forgive me for that. But looking after a project manager is very important, as they're the ones that will allow you to take a step back from your business and innovate ways to grow it further. And yeah, that's how you automate your whole dropshipping process. That's a whole process. This is the stuff that, like, I paid 12 grand to learn from the best dropshippers, going to masterminds, paying for courses, and I'm giving it to you guys completely for free in this PowerPoint presentation. Like, I was thinking about putting images, like making the PowerPoint more fancy, but I want to just keep it raw. And I think those who really need this knowledge wouldn't really care about images on the presentation. So I really want to get your thoughts on what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong. Are you guys liking these PowerPoint presentations? I want to get your feedback, and I want to hear what you guys want. I want to provide you guys value, and I appreciate you guys for watching my videos. So please drop a comment below on things that you want me to basically do and work on, and I'm going to make sure that you guys get that content. I want to put the viewers first, because you guys are the ones that are investing your time into me, and I appreciate that. If you want the slides, they're 100% for free. They're in the description below. I'm not going to get you to pay for any of these slides. You can get them completely for free. If you guys want to win 30-minute consulting calls with me, I'll be picking 2 winners every single day. Drop a comment below and I'll be picking the best comment on the next video. Other than that, if you guys are finding value from this video, drop a like below, make sure you subscribe, turn on the notification bell, because I'll be dropping value bombs every single day. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, and I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Peace.